by the command of Arwad, the son of the fallen king of Ugarit, Nichmepa. The Phoenician League gathered an army from the kings of Tyros, Sidon, and Gebal to march north with the intention of reclaiming the northern kingdoms. Its first obstacle came in the name of Shavush Kamua, the Amorite king of Samura, that was defeated and imprisoned by Arwad, dying a year later in captivity. Now the next step on Arwad's mission was at hand. With a peace treaty underway, the Phoenicians used this time to consolidate and rest from the constant wars. The newly founded Canaanite kingdom of Samura was being guarded by Arwad, while Bahal was marching back with his father's troops back to Tyros. By this time, a new incoming conflict would start to emerge in the south, where the Egyptians began their campaigns against the Israelites. The southern tribes of Israel were not allied with the Phoenicians, but the northern ones were, which left Abimelech in a difficult position, seeing that the Amorites were starting many attacks to their territories. By 1268 BC, the Amorites were starting their invasion of Megiddo, with Ben-Deshena, the Amorite coalition leader, at the helm of the campaign. Abimelech sent monetary aid, but he would not dare to drag out his kingdom and the other Canaanite kingdoms in a new war against the Amorite kings. Many nobles, however, were upset to see the Amorites disregard the peace treaty and march into their lands, plundering the countryside. The Israelites gathered their tribal allies and marched with a massive army of 10,000 against Ben-Deshena, but were defeated and forced to endure a siege. A year later, and Megiddo still held out, much thanks to Abimelech sending provisions to the city. At this time, the Egyptians had conquered most of the southern Israelite tribes, which would lead in a clash of interests between the Amorites and the Egyptians, making them also support the northern Israelites with provisions against Ben-Deshena. While these wars happened in the south, on the north, preparations for a war against the Arameans was underway. Abimelech's two younger sons, Hadadano and Habibahal, were the commanders of the Tyros army, while Arwad, brother-in-law, Yapahu, was the commander of Gebal's army. With them was Ibirano, older brother of Amurabi, the king of Samura, that was to be the new king of Arwad. And at the overall command was once again Arwad. 1267 was the year the Phoenician League army marched on Arwad and sieged it for several months. The Arameans were in their struggle against the Hittites, and so were not able to send their main armies to support. Arwad had chosen the opportune time to strike for there was a civil war occurring in the Aramean kingdom of Arwad, with Ahuni trying to quell down the rebels that were for the Phoenician rule. The rebels had expelled Ahuni out of the city and were right to let the Phoenicians in. But the Aramean army of Ugarit clashed against the Phoenicians before that could be done. The Aramean general, Tutamo, was confident of winning the battle, for he had an innovative weapon at the time: camel riders, that in previous battles scared the horses on the chariots and made the enemy infantry confused. But Arhaba was ready to counter by putting Abibahar and Ibirano idle on a large rock, ready to ambush the Aramean army. A skirmish ensued between both forces with the chariots, leaving room for the hidden units to position themselves for a flanking attack. Adadano and Yapahu threw themselves closer to the enemy lines, so to distract them from the upcoming ambush that was coming near their main line. With the Aramean army near the Phoenician main host, the trap was launched, and a volley of projectiles were thrown against the camel riders of Tutamo, inflicting many casualties. Seeing that his plan worked, he sent his infantry to charge the confused Aramean army that saw itself surrounded by all sides, starting a mass rout. With the Battle of Arwad over, the people of the city opened its gates to the Phoenician army, crowning Ibiranu as its king by the summer of 1267 BC. Ahuni held the western regions around the port, holding to its fortifications while reinforcements from Ugarit could secure him back his throne. Harhaba sent many envoys to secure a surrender from Ahuni, but he refused them all, for he knew that Tutamo was amassing a new army to attack Arwad. By 1266, the Arameans were sieging the city, with reinforcements coming each season to aid the assault of the walls. A Phoenician war council in Arwad was made to discuss what should be done, for many, like Adadano and Abibahar, supported a defensive strategy, while Harhaba and Yapahu supported an offensive one. Ibirano, not being a military-minded king, didn't mediate the council, and so a rivalry happened between the forces of Gebal and Tyros. So the forces of Tyros held out the city for an assault, while the forces of Gebal sallied out for a surprise attack. Harhaba was fortunate in his decision, for the overall command of the Aramean army was in shambles, with Tutamo being unable to control his officers. Chariots emerged from the southern gate, charging the unsuspecting Arameans that began to regroup to a better position, leading to many casualties. It was then that from the eastern gate came Yapahu and Arhaba, charging from with great might to disperse the forces of Tutamo that fell victim to the powerful charge of the Phoenicians. leading to Tutamo's death. The Aramean forces tried to hold back the chariot momentum, but were forced to retreat in the end, crushing any hopes for Ahuni to restore his kingdom. Ahuni surrendered to Arwad, but he was not willing this time to be forgiving, executing the former Aramean king of Arwad in the central square. Ibiranu's kingdom had been secured, but at the cost of a rivalry between the kingdoms of Tyros and Gebal. While in the south, Pendeshina was beaten back from the walls of Megiddo, where he was warmly welcomed and received by Abimilku, that tried to mediate a peace between the two parties. Only one Canaanite realm remains in the hands of the Arameans, the greatest of all their cities, and the rightful kingdom of Arwad, Ugarit. Follow me on the next tale, my friends, to find out what will come out from this war in this other realm.